else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it. Okay?
Well, I think we're stuck with her. That seems to be a lot of the people that are following us love that stuff. And today, speaking of our theme song and music, we have Byron Funck, aka Carnivore Beats. He's been so gracious and awesome to help us out with all our music, and man, support him on his channel Carnivore Beats, and on YouTube Carnivore Beats YT. And we have Mrs. Carnivore Beats today. We have Deborah. We're gonna get together and I think there's some ranting on the table. I know all of us at one time or another have our own frustrations and just with all the stuff. And just a reminder to everybody, please, we are live Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland, and 7 p.m. in the Netherlands and continental Europe. And we do this once a week, get together and talk carnivore things. And Byron and Deborah, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Ready to unleash a little bit?
Yeah, we can see where it goes.
And of course, Mark, my friend, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well, sir.
Awesome.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, as always, it's always nice because whenever the ranting on the table, I know Mark and I have had our share of rants from time to time. So anyway, Byron just did. I would encourage you to go check out his TikTok channel, and he had a rant, and you could tell that he was frustrated. You could tell. I think all of us at one time or another have felt this way. But let's just lead off with that, Byron. What sort of got you to getting into that state and that frustration? What sparked it?
Well, it's whenever I'm driving, it's when the mind can work and think, and then I'm always trying to think of new inspiration for music and obviously think of other things, and then certain conversations come across the mindset and the thought pattern. And I'd obviously also just spoken to my wife, so it's not my wife's fault, but
we're not going there yet. No, come on, go ahead.
No. But with her being type 2 diabetic, and she's also been doing the carnivore with me, but not I'm strict carnivore. I've even stopped my coffee like a month ago, like proper full on. And when we were just talking on the phone, and because she's having heart palpitations and her pulse rate is very high, and it's been high for months now, and we even went to a point where she was almost basically off all her meds, but her sugar was still high, like sitting at 15, and it would fluctuate between 13 and 15, and the pulse rate was still high, but her blood pressure was perfect. So it's just strange, and the doctors can't find out why the pulse rate's high, but the blood pressure is normal. And then the heart specialist basically gives her a new medication to try to bring the pulse down. And then it's like, okay, we'll go on all these things now, go back on some of the one or two of the diabetic medications just to try to get that sugar down, because you obviously don't want that elevated for too long. So between the new heart medication and the going back onto, I think it's metformin.
No, it's the Forceja.
Forceja, sorry. Forceja was the better one. So that's brought that down. But the heart pulse rate is still very high. So the new medications that he's given her hasn't helped with that. And it's frustrating because they don't know. So typically, from past experience over the many years, is that it's like, okay, well, let's try this, let's try that, because they don't really know what's going on. But also, again, as normal, they never ever discuss nutrition. They never ask anything about nutrition. It's just like, okay, we'll give you this, see how you're feeling or whatever. So I was just frustrated with that as well, because I know I've been around this mountain before. Well, we've been around this mountain before. And ultimately, I know as well, it's also a mindset. Like, you need to really make your mind up and say, okay, we're going to do this. Here's a strategy. Let's do it. And I know it's kind of hard for my wife. Like, for me, if I need to do something strict or I need to focus on something, I can do it. For her, it's a little bit different. It's not. And then, you know what it's like as well with partners. It's a bit hard to say, okay, well, I'm doing it, you must do it. So it was just frustrating. But then a lot of conversations come across. So throughout the week and even previous weeks and even this whole year, like, you can hear so many people saying, oh, I've got hay fever now, it's pollen season, and they're all off to the chemist after work, or even when you're in town, you hear people, okay, we just come from the chemist, got our antihistamines and all that. And I'm like, the one good thing is that my wife doesn't suffer from that anymore, and she did for majority of our life or our marriage. And her eyes used to water, like she was crying all the time, and that with the pollen, taking antihistamines, and even that wouldn't help at times. But after going carnivore for a while, that stopped. So like, you get frustrated because you know medications is just there to manage your situation. And there's many people you can hear in conversations are like that. And there's so many times I'll go in the chemist with her sometimes when she's getting some of the diabetic medication or whatever, and I'll stand there and I'll listen on purpose. And that was one of the things that I was saying, is that just walk around, look at the count, look at the shelves, make like you're looking for something, looking around, but pay attention to people's conversations. And you'll hear majority of people, not all, but majority of people are getting medications for nutritional autoimmune issues. And it's like, why is no one ever discussing their nutritional or their lifestyle situation where you can improve your situation, you can reduce your medication, if not get off it? Because if it's something to do with hay fever, I'm not saying everybody, it depends on their situation, but if it worked for my wife who's been on it forever, who we thought, oh, it's a lifetime thing, then surely everybody else that's got a pollen issue, or when it's pollen season got their issues, surely if they just changed their dietary and got rid of the plant-based foods that is contributing towards that, they would like have a better life, wouldn't have to come to the chemist all the time. But people line up at the chemist counter, but they won't line up at the food counter buying the right foods. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And it comes down to their mentality of a drive-through mentality. They want the quick fix. Oh, I'll just take this, sorts it out. But they don't want to put the effort in to make their change for a lifetime, like make your quality of life a lifetime scenario. Because what happens when you're not around a chemist and now you're suffering and you need to get the tablets and you're and you battle, then you can't go out, you can't go do this with your family members because you're either sneezing like a two-stroke or just like, not comfortable.
I did.
It's lying like that and it looks like you're beating your wife.
Constantly.
Well, you know,
and how are you feeling now?
Good. I don't know. Byron brought it up. I actually forgot about it. He said to me, "Hey, you haven't been crying this year," and I was like, "You're right," And I was like, "Sure." I didn't actually realize the time of the year for pollen season, and I haven't had any issues.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, and there's so many things that tie into that, because quite often, even when I'm working with people, it's that process, it's that journey, it's that holy shit, this doesn't happen to me anymore. But that doesn't change in 2 weeks. All of a sudden, when you start changing your lifestyle and start becoming aware of this stuff, these are the things that happen down the way. And I mean, I tell people, if you're starting this carnivore or any kind of health journey, write stuff down, because I mean, I have a laundry list of things that don't happen to me anymore. But it took time to realize, like, wait a minute, this didn't happen. So that's and on the other side of things too is, well, they'll say that your allergies, you're broken, you need this medication, and that's the perfect trick. They tell you, do all these things the right way, like we preach and like we tell you, And then when you're broken, you're the problem. You're broken. You need the medication to fix it.
Yeah.
Which
they'll never talk about the inflammatory triggers that are triggering that hay fever or that issue like that. It's just it's frustrating.
and
Yeah, it's right. Honestly, it is. It's, and I can only imagine what it's like from a partner's side, because the one thing you don't want, and I'd be the same with my partner. You're gonna do whatever it takes to protect them, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And if my partner was in that position as well, I would be the exact same as you, Byron. I'd be asking those hard questions. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd be saying, listen, why is she on medication? Why are you feeding her this way? I think we have to. I think when you're in that situation, you just can't let them settle for anything else. You have to fight for them. It's as simple as that.
Well, I mean, if you think back, like I remember when I was a kid as well, our doctor we had then was very good. And I mean, you hardly ever had to go to a hospital, be sent to a hospital for anything unless it was something serious. Like when my mother had a spider bite, she had 3 days to live, off to the hospital. But when you're having normal flus, colds, or you're having other symptoms, most of the time the doctor would know exactly what it was and say, okay, well, this will solve that. And you go away with the medicine, and like a couple of weeks later, you sort it. There, it's done, it's sorted. You don't have to come back. He says, okay, I don't want to see you back. You should be good. Nowadays, it's like, come back, we'll see you next week. Come back. Like they want to book another appointment type thing. And you're like, the whole point is you should not want to come back for another appointment. And most of the time, then doctors were always researching further. Like when you come back to the next appointment with the guy, I still remember the guy would talk about, hey, he found this on other medical sites, because obviously there was back-end medical networks that they could connect and ask other medical professionals, have you come across this, that? And doctors would do that. But I don't know if many of them do it today. I know the ones that take pride in their work and that want to make changes in people's lives, they do that type of stuff, or that extra research and stay on top of things. But I think sometimes, even with nutritionists, I think once they've studied something, they think, okay, I know it all. That's the Bible for my knowledge, and that's it. But as we know, there's always new things coming out, or other people that have done things, but it hasn't made any media yet. And when it does make media, it's like, oh, let's just shrug it off. But at the end of the day, like we've all seen in the community, is that what's happening physically and what's happening to people's lives, and that's changing it permanently, you can't ignore what's happening. It's like, oh, but what does the science say? Well, what is all this physical evidence showing? Everything was always based about physical evidence, not about theory, or because a lot of the times, how many times did scientists get things wrong? Because in theory, it should work like this, and then it doesn't work. Then they find it works like this. And it's the same when it comes to nutrition. Oh, in theory, we think it should work like this, but they're still learning about the human body. So what makes them think they know everything about the human body now?
Exactly.
I mean, when something's happening and something's working, it might not make sense to you, but then look into it and say, okay, well, there must be something here if it's changing people's lives.
And I think I think that's the I think we're programmed for the quick fix. We're set up. We're set up to say, well, we have a medication, don't worry about it. And then that medication brings on more medication because of the side effects, and the whole problem was you. When it was just your body is not, there's a disconnect. There's like, obviously disconnecting to your nutrition is a big one. And I think, and that's where, I think all of us at one point or another, we challenge the systems. And because Mark, you see it, like I know you have clients that do these things, these miraculous health turnarounds, and realistically it's just getting the foundations right.
But I had an incident about 2 years ago. I'll never forget this story. I'm still friends with her at the moment. I'll never forget it. When I got her in peak condition, her health was unbelievably, like really, really good. She went back to her doctor. She got her CAC scan. She got her bloods done. The doctor said to her, like, everything's perfect, but your cholesterol's too high. The same shit we listen to all the time. And then he said to her, well, do you mind me asking what you're doing? And she was like, yeah, I've changed my diet and I've changed my lifestyle. Do you mind me asking what diet you're doing? She was like, yeah, I'm on the carnivore diet. You need to get off that diet. That diet's going to kill you. I'll never forget it.
You can see the results of working, but you still want to question it.
I wanted to speak to that doctor. The minute I heard that, I was like, okay, you need to get me on the phone to him, because I was like, Jesus Christ, like this woman is in peak condition. Condition. Health is she hasn't had any problems in the last 2 or 3 years with her health. None. And this guy, this expert, because he has a PhD, he's done 7 years in fucking college. He knows it all. He turns around and says, "Oh, the carnivore diet is going to kill you. It's going to kill you." Sure, I was only reading up an article today that 2 parents in America, they were actually what was it? I can't remember what's the place called where if you're not looking after your kids properly, what's that place called?
Child services.
Yeah, this couple.
A foster home.
Yeah, this couple somebody had actually reported them for feeding their child the carnivore diet.
Wow.
I'm not joking. I'll send you the article.
I think wasn't it their doctor?
Yeah, I'm actually going to send you the article after this, Tony. And we'll discuss this on Sunday. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. And to this day, she's getting reported.
Unreal. And yet if you look at the other side of it, it's just like, this doesn't make sense, because there's parents that have been, in serious trouble with the law and that kind of thing, making their kids be vegans. And that's, this happens at early age. I've heard stories of children getting taken away for veganism because they call it child torture.
Yeah.
And that just shows that there's this whole wide, we're so lost, because like one extreme to another, but one brings ultimate nutrition and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And
100%.
And that's the problem too. Like what we're all talking about as well is like in the legal system, they have precedents. If something has precedence and they have some history to it, they resort back to that to make a decision or a verdict. Well, we have precedent too, but we don't listen to it. We just listen to you. And if you look at the biotech companies, like these companies are battling to make drugs to be included in standard of care. That is the gold standard for these drugs. Once it's in standard of care and the doctors must prescribe that if they present symptoms, that's when these companies make billions of dollars. And it's just a machine. And it just goes to show you, they're not caring about health. It's a political race. These drugs are all made to get part of the standard of care. If you have this, then you use this drug.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, Byron, how many views did you get on the video on the car?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
That's what I was going to say. It's incredible. Like
393.
There you go. So the information that you gave out in that car was unbelievable. You had a 10-minute rant, and more people should have listened to that. Now, if you had spoken about the sugar diet, you would have got probably 1,000 people looking at your
podcast. Oh yeah. But the other frustrating part is, and I think it's just human nature as well. But the frustrating part is people don't like hearing the truth. Yeah. The truth seems to hurt. Or the other factor comes in is that they know what's required. They hear the truth. But it comes down to what we were talking about, where the government and the big players have made a culture of everything must be quick. It's like, if it takes too long, it's not worth the effort.
Yeah.
And that's where the biggest frustration comes, because it's the same as people. Again, whoever's listening to this, it's not a matter of, it's not for everybody, because we know there's certain situations that are required. But like a gastric bypass, people see that as a quick fix. Okay, I'm going to go get that done. It's good. First of all, there's a 50-50 risk at that when you go for that operation. Mm-hmm. And I know firsthand at a hospital, I won't say anywhere or names or anything, but I know firsthand of a lady that was lying in a bed next to me at one stage where she had some procedure done on her stomach. She got let go out of the hospital. She wasn't given antibiotics for the bacterial infection, which happens in a lot of stomach operations. and they have to normally get that antibiotics to help with that. She never got that. She got infected, and big issues, had to come back. So the one medical professional, oh, she doesn't need it. Another professional, oh, they do need it. So even when it comes to operations, not all the medical professionals are trained properly either, or are not being overseen properly enough. And it could be either there's a shortage in staff, whatever. We won't go down all that hospital nonsense, because that's also got political issues. But that is the fact. The fact is there's high risks. As soon as you cut into the body, you automatically now have chances of infection, bacteria, disasters that could happen, especially if nothing's cleaned up. And you've heard how many people have had things left inside them, all that type of thing. So they look at that as a quick fix. And at the end of the day, it's not easy, but that's why it's important. And why I was saying as well is that it's a mindset. You really have to make the mindset, okay, is my health that important to me? Because if you can make that decision, you've already won 50% of the battle. Then part of that other 50%, in my opinion, is that surround yourself with like-minded people, which makes it even easier. If you've got a lot of people that are against what you want to try to do to make yourself better as such, like eating carnivore as an example, stay away from them for a month or two if you need to, so that you can mentally stay strong, and hang around and listen to more people that are in the same mindset as you to help you get that strength, that mental strength. And by doing that, because how many people have gone for gastric bypass? Sorry, I'm getting dark.
It's all right. Good. No worries.
My mind's all over the place in terms of there's so much to say, and it's a matter of trying to just say more what's important. But people get the gastric bypass and they think, okay, that's the answer. But the reality and the truth is there's so many people that have had that and still go put on weight and still become obese again, because your stomach can stretch, you can still eat the rubbish, your insulin levels can still rise, your cortisol levels. It's not a quick fix. And the risk factor for it is quite high. So yes, once you take that, it's fine. But if you change your lifestyle after that, it will be like a supercharge. But if you just learn and work to say change my lifestyle, which is a lot easier, it's a tough road. It's a long road. But if you do it, even if it takes you 2 years to get to a point where you've slimmed down, lost a few dress sizes or belt sizes, it's well worth it, because it's going to be sustainable.
Exactly.
And also it gives your body chance for your skin to sort of try and reduce itself, even though we know sometimes stretched skin can't always reduce. But you'll have far less if you do it at a consistent, decent pace than a quick, hey, let me drop it so quickly, and then you sit with your skin hasn't had a chance to adapt.
Yeah, no kidding, man. And it's if you look at just even bariatric surgery, now they have Ozempic and Wegovy and all these GLP-1s that are just, it's like, well, if this doesn't work, then we'll do this. If this doesn't work, then we'll do this. If this doesn't work, we'll do this. You could have just changed your diet and learned about proper nourishment. And, at least that will set the tone for the extreme, like there's obviously, I'm not saying there's these interventions aren't necessary in certain situations. I'm not a doctor, but why can't we get the foundations right first to try and push yourself towards being optimally nourished, And is that the carnivore diet? Well, it's a pretty good way. I mean, we've all seen it. I mean, is it necessary for everybody? I mean, I would argue that it's probably a good idea, but I mean, do you have to? Everybody's going to be a little bit different. But what you're saying, it frustrates the shit out of me too, Byron, because I see it from the average person just making excuses to extreme situations, with cancer, and people have no idea that chemotherapy is going to destroy them. They haven't even thought about how their body's going to fight that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what breaks my heart.
I mean, that's what happened with because my mom passed away many years ago of cancer, and the same thing. Okay, we're going chemotherapy. Once you go into chemotherapy, you stuffed, and you might come right depending on the cancer you got. You might come right, which has happened with many people. They come right, but a couple of years later, it's back. And the problem is during that chemo or the radiation that they get, and I'm not, like we said, there's certain situations where certain things are valid and need to be used. But how many people and how many medical professionals have cured people stage 4 cancers by doing proper nutrition and maybe a few other little interventions without those normal chemotherapy, radiation techniques. And the people are living way beyond what a lot of people have lived before after radiation treatment or chemotherapy treatment. I mean, you're putting those chemo tablets in your body, right? But the people who make that medication have to wear special suits. And then your white blood cells go for a ball of...
Well, that's your immune system, right? Like, and that's the thing we don't realize is it's everything. Your immune system is everything, and if you can suppress it, you can boost it. And boosting, you're having at least going into these therapies with all your immune system firing on all cylinders. And that's another thing that they do quite often too is it's if you get through the chemo, but it's why are we betting on this? We're saying you're broken or it's you. It's not. Like if the foundations are strong, the house will stand. And it's obvious that human beings are so bloody resilient that they exploit it. That's why all these diseases, all of them, they don't talk about the foundations. They just talk about genetics, and it's, oh, you're unlucky and you're sick now, and now you need to be. Your body knows how to heal. And I mean, on my other side of my journey in this, like the spiritual side, we have completely disregarded our natural ability to heal our bodies. From all these ancient traditions, they knew what they were doing. Now this medical system puts drugs in place of your natural ability to heal anything.
That's why these doctors now class obesity as a disease now. You ask any doctor, they'll say to you, okay, what's obesity? They'll say it's a disease. It's a rare genetic disease. There's nothing you can do about it. I've heard it on so many podcasts, and it really, really frustrates me. It really does. Like, how are we giving out this information when we're not even explaining to these people what's going on? Why can't we not, like what Byron says, why can't we not explain to people and talk to people and let them learn about what insulin is? Let them learn about what blood sugar is. Let them learn why they have these cravings in the first place, why they have these regular food noises. Like, why can't we not get this information out to people? Why does it have to be all based on, okay, you need to be in a calorie deficit. The only way you're going to lose weight is you need to be in a calorie deficit. Forget about the food that you're eating. It doesn't matter. All calories are equal. It's based on the law of thermodynamics. All this rubbish. You know what I mean? It's like, hang on, this needs to stop. Like, we've been listening to this advice now for what, 50 years? I'm pretty sure like 30 years ago we would have listened to the same people that we're listening to right now, and we still would have had an obesity crisis.
Of course.
Exactly.
Because there has to be, and that's the beautiful thing about this whole, well, I would say the unbeautiful thing about this whole thing is as it happens younger and younger, and kids, and they created this. Look at in the 80s with all the supermodel crap, like celebrating skinniness.
Yes.
Like, they set you up for now, they're celebrating obesity. They're celebrating, and I'm not saying it's nothing to do with the soul. It has nothing to do with if you're a beautiful person or not. It has everything to do with health. And both extremes are devastatingly unhealthy. And to glorify it and to celebrate it, and which is what we do. And you can see it from the modern way that they drive this stuff.
Well, I'm sure. But sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, for me, the biggest thing, as someone that's trained for so many years to help, a doctor's supposed to be a healer. And a nutritionist should be able to heal someone and reverse their situations. And if they're not doing that, and they're not looking up other studies and having a look at other evidence, I mean, believe in what you want to believe. But at the same time, if you see something's working for a group of people, then why not try those things and say, okay, well, let's try that. We're going to, at the end of the day, your goal should be to make someone healthy, make someone better. And if you're not doing that, how can you put your head down on the pillow at night knowing that you're not changing anybody's life, their quality of life? How can you put your head down at night and sleep comfortably and have sweet dreams knowing that you got patients getting sick that are having no quality improvement in their life? How can you put your head down knowing that you haven't done your best? and the mere fact that you know there's other people getting better and reversing conditions, and you're not prepared to try that. Oh no, that's like, oh no, that's like sorcery. Let's not touch that. But at the end of the day, if that can help your client or your patient improve their quality of life and get better and get off medications, surely that should be your objective. The whole idea is to make someone better, make their quality of life better, and not have to come back to you. But the problem with them, and the same with everything, it's repeat business. If I don't get their repeat business, that's the problem. So the whole way they trained is to have repeat business.
Well, you said it right there, Byron, too, because like doctors are taught and told, and they are so highly put on this pedestal, even if they got into it for the right reasons. They wanted to heal people and help people. Once that system gets a hold of them, you know, either they're completely blacklisted and they could lose their career. That's probably some fear, you know, but you're part of the system now. And all of that, like I always say this about the doctors that go off on their own. They're the ones that I want to listen to. The outliers, the ones that are trying something because it worked somewhere. And they're now going, well, the system's saying this, but I'm seeing another. But unfortunately, especially with our university and our medical systems, I can almost guarantee you the indoctrination runs so deep and they can't even see their own face in front of their eyes, right? Like it's just they're lost, right? There's no other explanation.
But it's so bad, and you know that it all boils down to freaking money and control. And the reason why is because, like, logically think about it. The governments are spending so much freaking money on healthcare. Why not reduce that cost and use that money for somewhere else? You could reduce that cost if proper nutrition was introduced into hospitals, first of all.
Yeah.
And if the food guidelines, and also you weren't restricting doctors. If doctors found ways to make people healthy and reduce that cost to the healthcare system, then governments would say, okay, well, let's implement it. There's no more, if a doctor does this, we're not going to come and take his license away or threaten his license because he's not following I don't want to say anything, but you know, whoever's controlling all of that. We don't want to threaten their business and their tax that they're paying us and all that type of stuff. If the governments were really interested in people's health, they would say, okay, well, that's it. Let's change the system. Let's make sure that our health bill comes down so we can rather use that money towards other better resources or even better hospitals for better treatments. They could be using it for a lot better situations, but at the end of the day, it's all about money and control.
You live in my country, Byron. How, like, you know about the new hospital that we have now at the moment. 2 billion euro that cost.
And no one's held accountable, especially for the man who signed documents and papers and contracts for it.
You want to see the size of this building, Tony?
No,
it took nearly 8 years to build. I think it's nearly 8 or 10 years now to build, and it cost $2 billion or 2 billion euro. And I was only looking at a video yesterday. This woman put up a video yesterday. They wanted to name the hospital. What was that? I can't remember what the name it was. I think it was the kids' hospital or something like that. And they wanted to pay an extra $5,000 to name it the kids' hospital. It's just we're pissing money. We're pissing money away in this country.
You know why? You know it's a load of bullshit, and it's all about money and control. And there was definitely groups and people that have made shitload of money out of that hospital. And because it should have never been delayed. Have a look at when the crisis happened in China, and have a look at some other countries. How quick do buildings go up? And they state of the art, they operate properly, they go up so quickly. Where does it take years to build a freaking building?
I know.
If the money's there and all the stuff's been approved and you've got decent project managers, you've got that, all that stuff should go up. Why does it take so long? Why is there so much red tapes? And then when documents are signed and things are done and then things get extended and then there's no one held accountable. No one has ever been held accountable for any of those delays or the extra costs. No one's been hit over the knuckles, nothing. Why?
Well, that's why
they've all freaking benefited out of it.
The political games that cover your own ass, and that's all the systems. They rely on their systems to protect them for these decisions, and the money just starts to go. You know, it's all these people. I'm starting to realize, you know, like just paying attention to politics in the last few years because they've made me. It's not like I want to. I never really liked you before, but you know, when you're seeing your grocery prices and everything that's just going out of control with with no rhyme or reason, you start to wonder why. And I've come to realize that it's all part of the machine, and it's all part of the cog in the wheel, and no one's held accountable because it's all just budgets, funding, profit, and it just drives it. And so the governments, like we're talking about, you'd think they would be for the people and for our health, but they're not. We have the same shit in Canada. It's the healthcare system.
I'm throwing something in the spanner here, but anyway, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, having a vote option is an illusion for freedom, and that's just my thinking of it. Because at the end of the day, if a certain government or a certain party that comes into power was going to make the changes they said they were going to make, prices would come down, things would get better, your quality of life would get better, but things keep on going in the same direction, which tells you the engine is what's driving it. And at the end of the day, a lot of politicians, I know, all come into it with a good heart and a great heart, but
nowadays
the wheel's too big to stop at the moment.
But yeah, and that's it. And I think like all of us have seen it, all of us have felt it. I mean, Deborah, I feel for you getting bounced around, even in a minor scale. Like it's part of it. And now people have to realize that we're on our own. And that's, I think, unfortunately, we have, fighters like us that are trying to like wonder why and get in there. But I think that, at the end of the day, man, you have to take control of your own life and health, and just due diligence, like research this stuff like you guys are doing right now with, you want to know why the doctors want to push drugs. What can I do for this? Well, here, take this medication. Not good enough.
And I'll go look up, like, just to put out there for other people that are maybe type 2 diabetic, medications that Deborah was on, and some of the new ones now are a bit different, but they also got issues. But you just need to go look at the side effects and look up and study the side effects of the medications. Then there's other websites you can go to where you can put in, okay, I've got this medication, that medication, and it will tell you if those medications are conflicting each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time they are. So you're taking multiple medications, one's counteracting the other medication, so you're wasting your money or you're wasting taxpayers' money, whatever it is. But at either day, the medications are fighting each other and counteracting each other. And you're like, okay, well then why am I taking these medications? Then you look at other side effects of medications. Like there's a medication, like, so let's put it this way. When her blood pressure was high, she got given blood pressure medication. Then you can't sleep at night. So there's a sleeping tablet, which is actually a psychotic tablet, and you're not supposed to be on for that long because it's supposed to be a 3 to 4 week treatment phase. But she was on it for many years, so you can't just come off it afterwards either. But that was to counteract the blood pressure medication. And then when you have a look at the sleeping medication that you're taking as a type 2 diabetic, you look at the side effects of the medication, and in the literature, the side effects is it could make people that weren't type 2 diabetic because it pushes their sugar up. So all of a sudden, you're going to need another medication to help bring your sugar down. So all it is it's going from circle to circle, around the mountain, around the mountain, around the mountain, because one medication is to treat another one, to treat another one, to treat another one. You look again, you maybe got 6, 7, 10 tablets that you have to take. And somewhere along the line, that's not going to help your stomach in the long run either. And then all these other effects that those medications have, like I said, there are times where I think medications are suited, but it should be a temporary thing. And then at the same time, when you stop something natural in the body, there has to be a consequence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, that consequence doesn't happen overnight. It takes time for that to manifest in the body. And by the time it manifests, you go back to get it treated, and it's not because of the medication. Oh no, you must have this, or it's genetic, or it's this, that, and you get given more medication. And at the end of the day, if there's people healing themselves, sorting themselves out, or there's other medical professionals helping people heal, get off their medications, because there's many doctors doing that, which is awesome, why not listen to them? Why does the human race, or why does the human psyche always say, hey, someone says that's bad, fear that is not good, and straight away they put a wall up, okay, I'm not touching it, that's bad. Oh no, you're gonna die, or you're gonna this and that. But people are showing you physical evidence that they're healing, yet you don't want to believe what you're seeing. Like that's how the brainwashing has worked so badly.
It's laughable. It's laughable, isn't it? It really
and then
is.
you throw in the major marketing profit machine behind that wall, and then fear is it's concrete now, right? Like that's, you don't question that one because they've made all the headlines, they've made all the don't listen to this, do this.
Yeah, like one of the quickest ones. Oh, you got a headache. I got a headache. I got a migraine. There's a tablet. Oh, and it fixes it straight away. But why aren't you saying, okay, well, the reason why you got the headache is because your body's dehydrated. Exactly. But on the other side, they're saying reduce your salt intake.
Yes.
Give you more of these headache tablets. Yes. It's a win-win for us and a lose-lose for you.
And when I found out, like, just this one thing sort of gave me like a light bulb just went off was when you found out that when someone had a Tylenol, like, you know, whatever, I think it was codeine or something, overdose, they go to the hospital. What do they get treated with? N-acetylcysteine. That is the nullifier, the antidote for a Tylenol overdose. That tells me this is pretty bloody important. And your liver getting toxic can be helped with N-acetylcysteine. And, you know, yeah, we can make it in our, it's one of those things that, but that's an antidote. But why doesn't anybody know that it helps your liver? No one knows that. There's no money in it.
Because they don't want it making the main media because it's going to take their money away.
And, you know, like, to get proper liver function is the answer. And it's really freaky how there's like all of us, like during the pandemic with vitamin D. Holy shit. As soon as there was something about vitamin D, and I did a course on the immune system, and I learned it wasn't about anything except for just what it was. And when I started realizing what vitamin D does, and you put it up against the lecture with what the jabs did, I'm like, holy shit, this is what vitamin D, this is the same thing. What the hell is going on? And that was where I was like, what? You know, like your DNA to mRNA transcription for your immune system requires vitamin D. Well, what do you think those things were doing? Unbelievable. And it's just, but no one wants to talk about vitamin D.
Yeah.
But again, there's certain people in high positions that are the problem. And what people don't realize, and that's also one of the reasons why I eat healthy, I eat this way, I live this way for my health, not to lose weight, not to look good. Those are side effects. I do it to be healthy, and I also do it because I know there's a lot of things out of our control which are there to make us sick.
Yes.
And one of those things that when I posted one of my things on TikTok before, and I had O's come out, oh, you O's don't know what, that's condensation trails. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, buddy, you don't know. You're either working for the companies or you haven't looked at your research where there's freaking evidence of it.
Yeah.
And it's in government papers. We're blocking the sun. What do you think that is? Vitamin D for animals, plants, freaking. I mean, to me, the vegetarians and the vegans should be blowing at that because it's going to kill their food source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to make their food source worse. Like, we need the sun. You need the sun on your skin. You need all that to get proper vitamin D happening. It was a mechanism designed that your body can't get any other way. Synthetic stuff's not always going to work.
No.
Over many years, there's going to be issues like that if you don't have everything else in place.
You know, I was driving down. I was going to get my meat. We were going out to the suburbs, so it was about an hour and a half drive away. And I'm driving down the boulevard, and it was wild. Like this road down Vancouver, beautiful sunny day, and these long dandelions, like they're super tall. The whole boulevard is like angled towards the sun, and I'm looking at this going, wow, even they know. Like, seriously, man.
100%.
Just see the whole nature just pointing towards the sun, and we're like, you know, we're telling people that we need to block it out. Like, are you kidding me?
What's going to happen to all the reptiles when they block the bloody sun? They come out to use the sun.
No kidding. I don't. And that's
joke.
I don't
It's a joke.
I don't understand why people don't freak out about, like, I mean, every religion or every culture, everything is based around, everything in the universe is based around the sun, and yet we're saying, you know, oh, you need to stay out of it. Like, really?
And yet people don't see it. I mean, even they've come out recently where they're showing and they're talking about Mr. BG.
Oh yeah,
And he's been buying up so much farmland.
We're not allowed to talk about BG in the morning in my house. Like, it gets angry. But go ahead, because you guys are in the evening, so it's all
But
good.
it's just like, the thing is like, if you look at what they're saying and what they're doing, it doesn't make any sense. And I won't touch on the other stuff because that obviously can be an issue. But if you look at the stuff that him and many others in that same circle have spoken about, they talk about it, but in a nice way that it doesn't get anybody's ears up and running. But when you listen to it, they're telling you straight to your face what's going to happen and what they're doing. For me, it's just more the reason why people need to take care of their health. The only way you can fight against some of the things that are sort of out of your control, in a sense, is that to give your body the best chance to survive is to make sure you're feeding it optimally, making sure you're not putting any of the unnecessary crap in your body. If the carnivore is not suited for you and you can't really get away with not having your Avo and having your other stuff, then rather at least go towards an animal-based diet and making sure you're getting enough protein in your body, enough animal fat or healthy saturated fats to make sure that your body stands a good chance at surviving through these things. Because even with all the other crap that they're eating, you never know what's going to be either in your water supply, or even with the chemicals that they're spraying on some of the chemicals that they spray on the plants and stuff like that. If you're eating a lot of those veg, or at least say, okay, well, that veg is not in season. It only normally comes around once a year. So let me not eat it all year round. There's obviously going to be
sun too, right? Yeah. Well, I absolutely agree with you, Byron. And I think, like, talking about medications and healing, and I mean, the two things that are available to everybody for the most part is the sun and the ground. You know, get your feet on the ground, get as much sun as possible. As soon as the sun comes out, I'm out. I want to be out in it as much as I possibly can. And, you know, it's kind of crazy how we don't even think about things like that. We just think about putting a jab or putting stuff in a medication and piling them on to heal our bodies, and we're not even getting nourished from the God-given things that are actually free. You know.
Yeah.
And it's potentially also, I mean, it's a whole holistic thing. It's not just, like we said, it's focus on your health. Weight and everything else will come afterwards. But at the same time, it's also like, the guys mustn't forget, like, this device here, you spend too much time on it, you're not going to want to look outside. You're not going to want to see the sun. You're not going to take note of what's happening around you. You're not going to take note of what's happening up above you, which most people don't know. They don't know what's happening above. They don't know what's getting done above their heads because they're always on their freaking phone. So at the same time, do it, but try have that balance. Make sure you're at least getting out, looking up, talking to other people, communicating. It's all part of your health. It's all part of getting out, getting a good walk, getting the flow. I mean,
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I really focus on with my clients, is that you have to have that hour in the morning to yourself, that self-love, and you have to have that little hour for yourself before you go to bed. Like, you need to switch off. You need to talk with your partner, go for a walk first thing in the morning. Don't look at your phone. Go out in the sunshine. Just do a walk. And it's amazing how the mindset just changes when you focus on those two things.
Well,
I must say, we blessed being on the farm here. We rent a cottage on the farm here, and when you walk up and down, and the sheep and the cows come look at you, and you're like, all that, it's like, you just look at them and you think, hey, okay, I know they know where they're going eventually, but at that time they got such a good life. Like, they're eating grass, enjoying the weather, and you're like, man, I've got to go to job. I've got to go to work. You just walk around, smell the air and freaking enjoy the sun. And it's just, when you look at it like that and you think how healthy they are, and all they're doing is they're eating grass because they were designed that way. That's the optimal fuel that they're eating. Their body converts it well. If we eat that optimal fuel that they end up turning into, we can also live a good quality life.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the way.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was designed. But when you start eating synthetic crap, when you start eating all this other stuff, I mean, at the company I work at, I work for a food company as well, and we supply a lot of food to a lot of different places. But we've also got vegetarian food. And I promise you, you look at the ingredients on some of that stuff, and when you feel it, it's like heavier than the natural meat stuff. And I'm like, this is going in your body, and then you want to know why you weigh more. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why would you eat something that doesn't really taste that good in the first place? When you eat meat, and it's like we said the whole time, the longer you're on carnivore, the longer the way you eat on an animal-based type diet, the more you crave the meat, the more you crave to taste that egg yolk on the meat. And like, it changes the whole lifestyle changes. It's like,
I think it's just a matter of we just need to go back to our identity the way it was like 100 years ago, like you said, Byron, where we didn't watch too much TV. We didn't have phones back then. Everybody was out playing, everybody was eating properly. It's like now in the last 50 years, like everything's just changed.
Yeah.
You have consoles, you have phones, you can order takeaways. It's so easy now to order food online. Nobody cooks anymore.
But I mean, we talked about this though, Mark. Like the other day, I made 2 French omelets in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You skip the dishes, I'll race you. Let's try. Like, let's go, Uber. Come on, I'll take you on. You know, just buy a shit ton of eggs. I will beat you every single time. 4 minutes, cracked, whisked, and cooked. 4 minutes. So, what's really fast food? So it's. I mean,
that's what I've started doing now as well. Also, probably being a bit lazy, because instead of mixing up the egg and then making scrambled egg, I just crack it in the pan and then stir it like that. Put the salt after, and it actually freaking tastes delicious. I put the blob of butter in first, because to me, butter and egg is the best. Put the butter in the egg and have it in that buttery taste of egg. Oh man, it's like freaking gorgeous.
It's good. Go ahead, Mark.
No, you go ahead. Don't worry.
I was just gonna change directions because I want to know how the Funks eat. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Deborah and what.
What does he cook for you, Deborah?
Yeah.
He cooks eggs for himself. I'm not a great egg eater, but he makes his eggs.
Yeah, she can't handle eggs. Sometimes she'll have scrambled eggs, or sometimes I'll make a proper fold-over omelet.
Yeah.
When I was doing training and when I first started my health journey, when I lost all my weight and that's one thing I got good at, was making the omelets. Freaking loved it. But yeah, Deborah does all the cooking. I'll cut the meat, sometimes help her cook the meat. Because we basically go buy
ribeyes.
Big 3 fillets of ribeyes like this that last us for the week.
Picanha.
And sometimes picanha, and then I'll cut my own.
That's my
10 ounce. I'll cut my own 8 to 10 ounce steaks. So we get about 8 out of 1 piece.
Yeah.
So between the 3 pieces, it pretty much does us for the week. And then we also mix burger patties.
Yeah.
And we don't make our own. We'll buy from the shop, but when we go buy from, say, Tesco, they've got a specific brand that only shows on their beef and salt. So we only buy that. There's no other preservatives. There's nothing in it. It's just beef and salt. And we'll have that. And then sometimes we'll have patties and eggs. Otherwise, we'll have I'll have like 2 steaks and eggs on top of that at times, or otherwise just steak and butter.
And picanha jerky.
Yeah, we'll make picanha jerky because picanha's got a nice fat cap on it.
Best. I was talking about my Brazilian roommate. He was like,
if you cut that into thin slices and then you put that in the oven for like a few hours, 3.5 hours at 80 degrees,
75 degrees.
And you leave it there, it almost becomes like a jerky. And
like we call in South Africa biltong.
Biltong, yeah.
Yes.
So, and you'll see there's a lot of people that have got dehydrators. So if you cut thin pieces of that and put that in,
just with salt.
Yeah, just with salt. But to me, the picanha is the best because it's got the nice fat piece on it with the protein. It's like to me, it's like a perfect balance.
Yeah, it is.
And it freaking tastes
so
awesome.
You guys put that in the oven?
Yeah, you can do it in the oven, or if you've got a dehydrator. We don't have a dehydrator, so we use the oven. So we stick it in there for like 3-4 hours, and then when it comes out, it's like black and the fat's done, and you're like, snack on it like a jerky. It's like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
we call it biltong.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some biltong. I love
And
it.
biltong, I've got quite a few other friends that live in Canada as well, but all the South Africans will know biltong, and even some of the Australians have got to know. Here, a lot of guys make biltong, and even some of the butchers have started making it as well. But biltongs are cured meat, and
Yeah.
that's also, man, you can just snack on that. That's delicious.
Yeah.
I think
And
eat that all
with
day.
biltong, they marinate it in red wine vinegar or brown vinegar with some coriander seeds that are crushed and salt and pepper and maybe a few other things. But we just like to stick to the clean.
Just the salt. But you
Just
can
the
put that
salt.
type of stuff, and then the meat's basically hung up raw,
Yeah.
and over time it obviously goes black, and it's like, you want to put it
Dries
dries out,
Yeah.
and it just freaking, it tastes awesome. That's eating raw meat. Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is in our house sometimes the meat has trouble even getting to steaks. Like somebody in this house, actually two people in this house, they like their raw stuff, which is one's the cat and the other one's
Yeah.
one of the girls. She likes the, while I'm cutting steak, she's snacking on the raw beef. It's pretty funny. I think it's awesome, and that's yeah.
But that's basically all we eat.
Yeah.
Is we just eat ribeye. Sometimes we'll have
Yeah.
chuck, and then the odd, maybe once a week we'll get some lamb and have some lamb,
Yeah.
or we'll have lamb and steak, or picanha, and eggs. But that's really all we eat. And obviously I've stopped coffee now because coffee was my last thing that I was always on and off with. And
Attaboy.
coffee I've stopped properly, and I'm really seeing a change in my legs on the skin. Sleeps better. The mind is clear. The focus is like better. Coffee's obviously, and when you look into the research of coffee, I know that some people say, they try to stop it and it doesn't make an effect, but the reality is it can take 6 months to 12 months for the oxidase to get out your system. And it can take up to 21 days for your sleep to improve and other factors to improve. So if people only stopping it for a week, they're not really getting the benefit of stopping.
That was my mistake. That was my mistake for years. Was I just do it 7 days at a time? There's more than just the caffeine, right? I don't have the problem with the caffeine, but I definitely feel better not drinking coffee for sure.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel better, and I don't even crave it anymore. Like I said to you the last time, one of my hacks that I learned from Salisbury is I'll boil a kettle at work as an example. Even at home, when I get home in the afternoon, I'll boil the kettle, or my wife does, and then just drink hot water.
Yeah. Nice.
And it actually helps with the intestines as well, with the stomach lining, same as Salisbury did with his patients. So it helps with your stomach even feel better, and it also takes away any wanting to have coffee or anything like that.
Yeah, the best thing I ever did was give the coffee, because I was like Tony. I was hooked on it, really, really hooked on it. I could have a coffee before I go to bed and I'd sleep, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
I could drink 2 pots a day, like easy, no problem.
Yeah.
I had my favorite C's: coffee,
Cheese.
chocolate, cheese,
What else?
and there was one more.
Crisps.
It used to be whiskey. Not.
Used to
It
be
wasn't a
whiskey
C, but it used to be whiskey.
for a long time. But yeah, coffee, chocolate, and cheesecakes was like the favorite C's of mine.
Now it's biltong and butter. Love it.
Yes,
Oh man,
for sure.
And you guys always eat together, or how do you eat?
yeah, we eat together. So normally we'll get home. I train
For
3
lunch.
times a week, and so I'll train, and then Deborah will normally go do some of the Bible study stuff, and then afterwards we cook a little bit later. After speaking to Mark at one time, just like have an idea, rather eat a bit later, see if it helps with the sleep and that.
Yeah.
And then we'll cook and eat around maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then go to bed. But we always eat together.
Awesome.
Breakfast we don't
eat breakfast really.
we don't always have. I'll change it up. Like sometimes in the morning when I get to work, I'll have my steak and 3 eggs and butter, Or sometimes I'll skip breakfast and I'll have it at lunchtime. Or if I have the breakfast in the morning, I don't have lunch and I'll only have supper again. But I'm normally only eating 2 meals a day. I just find that there's times, because I'm physical at work, if you eat in the morning, it helps you for the day. Then there's times where I won't eat, but I tend to try to listen to my body. So if I feel hungry, I'll have my breakfast. If I don't feel hungry, I won't have the breakfast, and I'll drink salt. I have a bottle that I mix with 2 teaspoons of salt in it, and I'll sip that throughout the morning up until lunchtime at least.
And you got one now.
Yeah, like this year's water, but it's salt water, so I'll drink that as well.
There you go.
And I tend to eat more fat on the days that I train as well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. And so how much are you both eating? Like Byron, are you what, like 2 pounds a day ish? Deborah, what are you?
Deborah will.
I'm not eating enough. I'm eating an 8-ounce steak a day. Well, 2. One at night, one at lunch. And I know it's not enough. But
she kind of went off butter. She used to eat butter, and then she kind of went off it.
Yeah.
So she'll just use tallow in the cooking with the meat and that, and then she'll sometimes snack on pork rind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just to fill it up, just to have a little bit more than just the steak.
Yeah.
I'll have sometimes either a steak and 3 eggs and 2 small blocks of butter for lunch.
Yeah.
And then come home at supper and I'll have 2 steaks and sometimes 2 eggs and a small block of butter. Or I'll just have 2 steaks and a block of butter, depending what it is. But yeah, otherwise I'll have generally between 3 and 4 steaks a day. And if I'm having patties, sometimes I'll have 4 patties and a couple of eggs.
But I can tell Mark's going to ask the question, but does it leave the pan?
So yeah, it's not too bad, but I find as we going, the longer we carnivores, the more I can eat. Where in the beginning I was getting full quicker, where now, like especially with training, this and that, it's like the body I can consume more. But then there's days where I'll have 1 steak and I'm like full. Then I'm like, okay, cool. My body says that's enough, and that's enough. But generally what I do try to do is on the days that I exercise, I will tend to eat more just to make sure I've got enough fuel. And then on the recovery days, I don't eat that much. I'll still have maybe 3 steaks a day and 2 eggs, or 3 eggs, but that's it. There's some days I'll get home if I've had a busy day, and I'll crack 6 eggs at like 4 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock I'll have 2 steaks and a block of butter or whatever.
Well, it sounds. I mean, obviously, I think that's one of the best things about carnivore way of eating is the intuition comes online, and you just know. I mean, even Deborah, you're saying I don't think I eat enough. It's still a progress, and it's like you're just feeling it out. And then some days, I like quite often tell people, like, don't be surprised if there's some days you're just like, how can I be eating so much more? And it's like, well, we've never had these systems online, right? We've always been told what to do. We've always been said this is what you do. You've never been riding on instinct, and it's I had it when I was eating just ridiculous amounts of food, and then all of a sudden it was like a few weeks of, nah, I'm good, and just trusting your body it's incredible. And
I was the same. Like last Friday and Saturday, I just didn't feel like I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
And I just went 2 days without food.
Yeah.
And that's very, very unlike me. Very, very unlike me.
Yeah.
I just had a 48-hour fast because my body was telling me, okay, you're not hungry, stop eating, and that's it.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about even with intermittent fasting is like, I do think there's a place for it, but it's those times where you're just like, no, I'm good. And that's wild when you can do that. I mean, I think me and the girl, we're going to do a fast on Sunday, but I'm just basically like how we're doing it is we're stopping eating on Saturday when we stop to eat. Sunday, we're just going to go the day without it. And then Monday, we'll see what happens. Like there's no pressure. It's just to see how we feel. And, and I think that's a big thing to do is just feel it out.
And I mean, even when we were still back in South Africa, we were living a low carb, high fat diet / keto type of lifestyle for 8 years.
Yeah.
Came here, went off the bandwagon, went a little bit high carb and that. But since going, even eating this way and that, like, we haven't used the scale for like over 10 years. I don't. We've got a scale that has never been switched on for like the last 10 years. It's like probably just a dust collector. That's all it really is. Only go by the way we feel. And if you look, that's like that's what I've lost.
Wow. Yeah.
Good
buddy.
man. Good man. Amazing.
Love it.
Not worrying about a freaking scale, not getting your mind caught up on a scale, because you know that 1 week you can climb on and you're up weight and you're like, oh, okay, I've done something wrong. But you haven't done anything wrong. The body will fluctuate based on water retention and many other factors, depending on your day, stress levels, everything like that. And that was one of the other frustrating rants, was that everybody's just talking about their weight and this and that. And I don't take it away from anybody. It's fantastic. But weight will come automatically. And weight, if you're going to use a scale, and what I used to say to a lot of people that are trained, don't weigh yourself daily. Don't weigh yourself weekly. Maybe every 3 weeks, climb on the scale, see where you're at. And if you're really battling, once a week. So do it every Friday after you've been to the toilet, because otherwise it can also change the scale.
Yeah.
Go to the toilet, weigh yourself every Friday, once a week, and that's the better way.
But the worst thing you can do is weigh yourself when you start carnivore, because you're going to lose so much weight. Water weight. And you're gonna get confused. You're gonna be like, oh my god, I've lost 20 pounds in 1 week, and then the following week you're probably only lose 5. Why am I not losing? And then that's what happens. So the bigger you, sorry, Deborah, go ahead.
Never. That's what happened with me. I used to do the scale as well 10 years back, and I used to get so disappointed because I'd get on from 1 week to the next and it would still be the same. So we just said, we're not going to use the scale anymore. And I used to be an XXL. I'm down to an L now. And I still got some to go. But, for me, that's big. It's big. It's a big thing for me to say that I was an extra large. I'm now down to a large.
For sure. That's
so
great.
Clothes, to me, what's more valuable is seeing what's happening in your clothes.
Yes.
And what you feel. So, yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, fully well the weight is going to come off. It will come off because you're eating the right way.
I mean, that whole weight thing is. Yeah, carry on.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, like, there's no rush. The weight is going to come off. It's like, okay, you're healthy now. The inflammation is going to come out of your body regardless. Yeah. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. So, I mean, what's the rush? What's the panic?
Yeah,
exactly.
And if we look at trends, and you can see, it's almost like the more weight you have to lose at the beginning is that it seems like that's where there's a big jump. But if you're trending, it doesn't even matter if you're weighing yourself every day. You'll notice if you trend it over 3 months, that trend is going down. Like it's and that's the hardest part with people, is like they're thinking on the spot, but it's not the spot. It's like those, like losing 10 pounds in a window over time, as opposed to 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and it's just so
I was mentioning this to the guys last week on the podcast with Tony and Peter. I'm working with a lady at the moment who has PCOS, and for 9 weeks the scales didn't move.
No, for sure.
Didn't move, and she was getting frustrated at the very, very beginning. But as we spoke every week on our check-in, she understood why things weren't moving. But not only that, just because the scales wasn't moving, everything else in our life was improving. Our health was improving, our fitness was improving. The clothes were looking a lot better on her. Like, so many positives. And this is what I had to explain to her. Like, listen, forget about the number. Like, just tell me how you feel. Mark, I feel fantastic. I did this today. Like, I'm not on the medication anymore. Like, I'm like, okay, well, just stay there. That's all you need to focus on. Don't worry about the weight.
Exactly, because it's how, I mean, if you're dropping pant sizes or shirt sizes or dress sizes, that's what's more important. Doesn't matter, because we know muscle mass is also heavy, and you don't know what your body's real composition is. So you don't know what changes is happening in your body, and everybody's body's going to adapt and change differently. And
Yes.
certain things are going to happen totally differently. So that was one of the things that everybody's putting this weight. Everybody's focused on the weight instead of focusing on how you're feeling, how your clothes feeling on you. And normally it can take 3 weeks even for something to change. But if you focused on that freaking scale the whole time, the mental game you're going to have that's going to tire you out mentally, and especially for some men, it can affect some men not too much, but especially for women that have emotions. Like if they have issues throughout their life where people have always spoken about their weight or they've had conscious feelings about their weight, now you focus on the weight, the very thing that you're conscious about, and you climb on there and the scale tells you, hey, bugger you, you've put on weight. Like, it's just going to mess you up mentally. So why not just push that thing in the cupboard? Don't ever look at it. If you really want to pull it out, do it once a month at the most.
Exactly.
Because at least once a month, it's going to train your brain not to really think about it. But when you start feeling, hey, geez, this shirt or this dress is feeling a little bit looser, like, man, and I'm feeling good. That's what's more important. And then you start to become more confident. You feel better. Your mind becomes stronger. But as soon as you hit that scale on a daily basis or a weekly basis, and next week it's up, you're going to, I've done all this hard work. And now all of a sudden, what are you doing? You're unmotivating yourself. Exactly. And then you're going to go binge eat because you still got that psychological factor of when I was sad and upset, I used to eat all the time, and you've built those neural pathways. Now you're just going to jump onto that, and next minute 2 weeks has passed, and geez, I've gone backwards. Okay, I'm getting back on. I'm resetting my carnivore lifestyle. I'm resetting. But you shouldn't be resetting, because again, it's another mental game that potentially.
I have on my screening form when I take on a client, it's in big letters at the very, very beginning. If you have a weighing scales, throw it out. Honestly, because I don't have any of my females weigh themselves, not one. Like I don't, not even once a month. I say, listen, forget about this weighing scales. I couldn't care less. I don't care. Not even at the very, very beginning. I might get their weight at the very, very beginning just to work at the macros. Yeah. But other than that, I'm like, listen, after this, you have my permission. Get rid of the scales, and they'll still send me. They'll still send me on their weight every week, and I'm like, okay, this looks amazing now. But when we get to a position where everything's working perfectly and that scale is not moving anymore, you won't care about how you look. You're going to be thinking about that number.
100%.
But that number's not me, and that's why I say to them, like, listen, before we get to that stage and it's mentally distracting you, you need to get rid of it right now. Right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then at the same time with that, with health, is starting, like, to me as well, my way of thinking in a sense of that people need to learn to listen to their body. Absolutely. So they got to, at the same time as focusing on their health, part of that is learning to trust your body and learning to trust the signals and learn to reignite that connection and say, okay, well, I'm feeling hungry, let me eat. And then learning, if you want to learn, you can learn portion sizes as such, but at least learn how that works. Don't always, like so many of the people as well, how many calories I've eaten, you can't count calories. If your phone dies or technology fades out,
you can't eat calories either.
No, exactly. But that tells me what, and for some people it obviously can work, but the thinking is that if this technology fades away, or for whatever reason you don't have your phone, how are you going to count? How are you going to eat that night knowing you don't know what you're eating, and you're going to be fearful? And then you're going to undereat, and then you're going to. So at the same time, to me, the most important thing is learning how to know what your body's telling you. Learn by eyesight as well. Okay, hey, normally that would fill me, and then you cook that amount and you can eat it like that. Now, to me, that's in the long. Automatically, your body's going to get you in the right calorie place if you want to work it out to the energy. But at the same time, a calorie is not a calorie, as we know. Your body's going to use calories differently. It's going to burn different energy. And at the same time, how can you explain sometimes where people are eating more than 3,000 calories and they're still losing size?
Yep. It's all a big it's the same thing, man. Programming. I think,
and see, I'm going to add something else in as well. Like, when people lose the weight and they look amazing, they have no idea how to get out of it. They have no idea. They lose the weight, and then they're like, okay, I've lost all this weight. now I'm gonna go out and celebrate and I'm gonna eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody understands what a reverse diet is. They don't understand the mechanism of a reverse diet. You know, I mean, that's the reason why I can get away with eating so much food at the moment. Like I'm only 5'3", but I can guarantee you that I'm eating well over 5,000 calories a day. Like I'm eating a shitload of food every day, and I should be like a balloon at that stage. I should be huge.
But you're eating the right foods, and as we know, if you eat protein, your body's going to burn more calories trying to digest the protein, and then at the same time, it's like that's where people need to learn lifestyle. Like they come in the health industry's been a diet. In other words, it's a temporary thing. It's a temporary thing. Instead of saying, you know what, this is going to be my lifestyle. If I go on holiday, I'm going to eat the same way. If I go to a party, I'm going to basically eat the same way.
Yes.
Like if we're going to a place where we know there's going to be like food that we don't really like, and it's going to be lots of carbs or whatever, we generally will make a meal at home before we go. Something to eat. When we go there, I'll have a look at wherever there is a bit of meat or eggs, because most people have eggs even if they have carbs, and we'll tuck into a bit of that, and then that's it.
I call it pre-gaming, man. I pre-game my food, and I get full and go into these situations, and I look around and I'm like, I'm good. And then worst case, I'll try something, or if I have to be that guy and be polite, and I'm not hungry. Don't go into those situations hungry. Get prepared, and it's easy now for me. Like, I mean, it's a lot different than when I started, but now I laugh at everybody and say, like, you guys are.
That's a key word, Tony, is preparation.
Yes, I like that word. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got into it today. I really loved this little rant session talk. It's always a pleasure to hang out with fellow like-minded people, and
for sure.
But yeah, any Byron, I'll let you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and what you're all about, especially with your music, man, because I think it's gonna take off, my friend. I'm everybody that hears it, that gets it, loves it, and your lyrics, the whole way it goes, is pretty special. So I'll let you send yourself.
On TikTok, it's just Carnivore Beats. On YouTube, it's Carnivore Beats YT at the end. The YouTube channel is more for exercise type music, but the lyrics still obviously pronounce whatever to do with the carnivore diet or that type of lifestyle. And TikTok is more about getting more of a message across with different type of music as well.
Awesome. And Mark, anything? I'm
just going to echo what Tony says. I just think it's a matter of time, Byron, before someone gets a hold of your music. I really do. I think someone in the carnivore community is going to listen to it and they're going to be like, holy shit, like this is just insane. Like I need to have this on my videos. You might actually see it on a TV program one day. I just think that's how big it's going to get.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Awesome. It's absolutely amazing. It really is. And I hope it does. I hope it does for you, because you deserve to do it. And it's amazing now. I only said this to you today. It's amazing to see your face now on the camera. And I think we need to see more of that, because you know your stuff. You're very, very passionate about how you speak. We're not gonna change the world unless we have more people like yourself that are on the camera and just speaking their minds, and that's it. So it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And keep it up. Forget about what other people are saying and thinking. Just do it.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man.
Well, we really appreciate all your help, like Byron. I love our collaborations. You're making our show with the intros. I've got so many people saying we love your show is the only intro we watch, and it's like, oh, cool. And I mean, I'm loving the lyrics, man. It's like when I'm just listening to this stuff, and then it's like, what? That's exactly
our theme song. It's always in my head.
Yeah.
Always. Take me home.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we do really appreciate and obviously we're going to be pumping your stuff, and we do appreciate the support you give us as well, because that's it's part and parcel to, I think, making our podcast an identity, and you're part of it, buddy, and we do appreciate it when you come on and talk to us as well. And Deborah, it was fantastic to meet you. It's always nice to see a couple doing carnivore things together and showing that it can be done, because there's a lot of people out there that may feel pretty isolated. I was for a time, and I know how powerful it is to have a partner that is all about what you're doing, and it's great.
It definitely makes a difference.
For sure. So guys, thank you all for being here. You can find Mark on Beyond Time 01 on TikTok and Instagram. Of course, his Carnivore Evolution podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And of course, me, you can find me at TonyStewartCoaching.com, on TikTok and Instagram at Tony_Food for Thought. And of course, we are live Sundays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. in the UK and Ireland. That's the home of Byron and Mark. I know they sound like they're South African, but they're in Ireland. So that's
living in Ireland.
And of course, we got to mention Peter. Find him at Dutch Carnivore. He couldn't be with us today, but he will be with us on Sunday. And we are in the Netherlands at 7 p.m. Netherlands time, I guess. And thanks, guys, for being here. And we will see you very soon.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Keep deep.
Have a good one.
Keep up the heat.